Hey everyone, have you been hunting for a gaming desktop that actually keeps up with today's titles without breaking the bank? I know the feeling. Every new drop wants max settings and 1440p or 4K smoothness, and most pre-builts either throttle or cost more than my car. So I grabbed the Thermaltake LCGS View i1470S-380 to see if it's the real deal. Link is in the description if you want to check the specs on Amazon. First off, the heart of this machine is the Intel Core i9-14900KF. That's a 24-core beast with hyper-threading, and paired with the Z790 chipset it just chews through games and multitasking. I ran Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p Ultra with RT overdrive and DLSS balanced, and it never dipped below 90 frames per second. Even with Discord, Chrome with 20 tabs, and OBS recording in the background, the temps stayed under 80 degrees Celsius thanks to the 360mm closed-loop cooler. That's the kind of headroom you usually only get in custom builds. Speaking of cooling, the three 120mm ARGB fans on the radiator look slick and move a ton of air. Thermaltake mounts them all on the top, so dust cleanup is straightforward. Just pop the front glass off, vacuum, and you're done. The case itself is the LCGS View with full tempered glass on the front and a side panel, so your RGB build is always on display. If you're into aesthetics, this thing is basically a living room showpiece that also happens to game. Memory is 32GB of DDR5-6000CL30 ToughRam RGB. I loaded up Microsoft Flight Simulator with the latest update, a few mods, and the VRAM never blinked. Loading screens are basically non-existent, and the RGB matches the fans perfectly if you sync with ASUS Armoury Crate or Thermaltake software. Storage is a 1TB Gen 4 NVMe, so your OS, games, and apps load in a blink. I cloned my old SSD over and didn't have to reinstall a single thing, plug and play. The GPU is the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070, which is basically a mid-range card on paper but punches above its weight with DLSS 3.5. I tested it in Alan Wake 2 at 4K with DLSS quality and frame generation enabled, and I still averaged around 60 frames per second. The DisplayPort and HDMI outputs handled my 4K 144Hz monitor and a secondary 1440p 240Hz panel without any flicker or scaling issues. On the connectivity side, you get one front USB-C, two USB 3.0 ports, a dedicated mic jack, and a headphone jack. That front USB-C is perfect for fast external SSDs or VR headsets. Wi-Fi 6E keeps latency low for online shooters, and the Bluetooth 5.2 dongle I plugged in handled my wireless headset without a hiccup. Setting it up was literally 5 minutes, plug-in power, HDMI, keyboard, mouse, and you're booting into Windows 11. Thermaltake includes a Windows key sticker, so if you ever need to reinstall you're covered. Noise levels are reasonable. Under load it's a quiet hum, not the jet engine whine you get from some pre-builts. Now, let's talk about the small stuff. The glass panels are gorgeous, but they do show every fingerprint. I keep a microfiber cloth handy because after a week it starts looking smudgy. Also, the case is pretty big. It's a full tower, so make sure your desk has the space. Thermaltake rates it for EATX boards, but if you ever want to upgrade the motherboard yourself, you'll need a bigger table. Overall, this rig delivers where it counts: raw performance, clean aesthetics, and easy upgrades. If you want a gaming desktop that won't feel outdated next year and still looks great in your setup, this is a solid pick. Check it out using the link below if it sounds like your next upgrade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Thermaltake LCGS View i1470S-380 gaming desktop, Intel Core i9-14900KF, ToughRam 32GB DDR5 6000 metric tons per second RGB memory, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070, 1TB NVMe M.2, Wi-Fi, Windows 11, V38S Z790 sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like Intel Core i9-14900KF CPU, Intel Z790 chipset motherboard, 32 GB, and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070, DisplayPort/HDMI actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off.